What's up, y'all? Let me change this background. Oh, excuse me. Thank you, Chuck. I'm sorry my team lost too, but it's been a great season. We did more than what I expected us to do. I went to some good games this year. We were competitive. The Eagles honestly are just a better team, and our luck ran out. You know what I mean? Their defense is ridiculous. Like, the Eagles' defense is ridiculous. So, I ain't mad about the black quarterback going to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? The Eagles are a good team, and they earned it. So, but let's get into this Real Housewives of New York finale. Now, we're not going to be here long. I am going to drop the link in a few minutes. Y'all know I was reviewing this season, and then I got away from it. But because there's so much going on with this finale, child, I done double back around because I just wanted to watch it for myself and see if I had anything to say. And I do. Okay? I got some things that I want to say. Let me say this. The VIP for this episode is definitely Jessel. And Jessel, let me say this. You almost made up for every annoying thing you ever did and said in this episode. Like, you absolutely, in this episode, I'm like, Jessel, you are my queen, okay? You were definitely the VIP, right? I don't want to cuss yet because it's too early in the video and I want this video to get monetized, but I have a FU, and my FU is to Jenna Lyons. And it's really funny because Jenna was actually one of my favorites. But after this episode, Jenna, I'm really side-eyeing you, and I really have an issue. So let me just get into it. Y'all come on in. We may have a low number for a couple of reasons. One, I done been live twice on this channel already today, and y'all know how YouTube is about sending out notifications. And two, I'm not really in the Real Housewives of New York algorithm because I've stopped, reviewing it. But we're going to talk about it. Hey, Powerful. Hey, Boo. Hey, Chuck. DM Rocks. Hey. Y'all come on in. And I'm going to drop the link in a few minutes, but let me just get this off. So I really don't care about nothing else that happened this season. From what I could tell watching the finale, I ain't missed nothing. Phil, part of the reason why I stopped watching New York and why New York was boring to me was I got sick of the Bryn storyline. I got sick of Bryn and her half-truths and her partial stories and how she was able to manipulate those women and get them all twisted up in their own words and thoughts to the point where she had them convinced that she was telling the truth and their eyes were deceiving them or their ears were deceiving them. And it was really frustrating to watch. Going back to last season, when we literally saw Bryn on camera say, well, I'm going to tell you my interpretation of what happened. Like, she started the whole fight over the cheese, which was still a silly fight, let's be clear. But she was the one that was like, well, I'm going to tell you my interpretation of what happened. So let's rewind. So we're at the final trip of the season. And you can tell they cut the season short, too, because they never... I can't say it's never happened in the history of Housewives because that's just too many years and too many franchises and too many seasons. But in my thought process, I cannot remember a season that literally ended this way, where usually we get at least one episode after we get back from the group trip. But they're in Puerto Rico, and it looks like Uba and Bryn were arguing in the hot tub, and Uba made some comments about Bryn must have slept around to get this job. And I really want to use the exact language because the words are important. The words are important because what Uba said versus what Bryn said Uba said, it does make a difference. Now, is the inference the same? Yes. But I think, again, it's just an example of how Bryn changes things. Oh, allegedly there was a physical altercation at the airport. I can believe it. But how Bryn changes things, right? So we saw Uber say to Bryn, you must have slept with somebody to get your did you sleep with somebody to get your job? But she never said you did sleep with somebody to get your job. But she was like, girl, how in the world did you get your job? Like, did you sleep with somebody to get this job? And what Bryn repeated back was, oh, so you said I had a D in my mouth. Oh, I had a D in my mouth. And shout out to production for this one. Because production went back and showed us that's why I'm glad I had to go back and watch none of this. Production showed us the clips and we saw where Bryn was the one that threw it out about, so you're saying I had a D in my mouth? But she's something about I'm going to bed. Maybe I should put a D in my mouth when I go to bed. And Uber was like, yeah, maybe you should. Somehow that got twisted around to Uber said I had a D in my mouth. And again, I'm so glad for production to show us that is not what Uber said. Now, at the end of the day, is the inference the same? The inference is the same. Like, you're trying to put out there that Bryn may have slept around to get this job on the show, right? Cool. But I think because of what happened, I think in this instance, it's important that we get the words right. Because I think, again, it just shows how Bryn takes one thing and blows it up and makes it worse than what it was. Because saying, girl, did you sleep with somebody to get this job versus you must have had a D in your mouth. Was that Eric? Is that Eric that's on Real Housewives of New York? Child, was that Eric? Lord have mercy. So as far as I see what you're saying, Phil, about Aaron, child, I don't even care about Aaron and that whole, Aaron was lying about her participation. Child, I don't care about that. I mean, honestly, in the grand scheme of what I'm talking about, child, I don't care nothing about what Aaron got going on. So here's what happened, in my humble opinion. Bryn was not getting the response that she wanted from the ladies because Uber was standing her ground. Uber was not wavering, right? Uber was not. I was wondering why his name came up again because I think Alexander Rogers say to him, "This is what you said, and this is what I said." I didn't say anything about putting a D in your mouth. You said that. I repeated it back to you. And Uber, girl, I'm not playing this game. Now, can I say something? And you guys can go back and look at my reviews at the beginning of this season. There must have been some stuff going on off camera because Uber had this energy with Bryn from the beginning of the season. Oh, Lord. Then get off of it. I'm still repping my squad. But congratulations. Congratulations to the Eagles. Congratulations. But I'm still repping my squad. Uber had this energy with Bryn all season. So I feel like something must have happened with Uber and Bryn off the break. I don't know. So Uber walks away. She goes to her room because she's like, I'm not doing this with y'all. Like, I'm not going to let you twist this around. I'm not going to let you manipulate me. I'm not going to let you turn this into something else. Sai is like, can we just go to bed? Because I just think we all need a reset. Let's just go to bed and let's reset. But Bryn would not let it go. Bryn kept going and going and going because Bryn needed everybody to take her side over Uber. She needed Uber to be the big bad. And when it seemed like she didn't get the reaction that she wanted or the response that she wanted, that's when she upped the ante. And she then said, I'm going through a lot right now. I'm going through a lot of stressful stuff right now. And Uber knows that, I confided in her that I'm in a group therapy right now. I was SA'd and, she said she was RAPED. And she was like, I can't believe that she would do this to me, knowing what I'm going through and knowing what I've been through, right? So immediately, when you're talking to a room full of women who may have gone through the same experience, or certainly, I think there's not a woman in America that either A, has not been SA'd in some way, shape, or form, or doesn't know somebody that has. Like, it may not have happened to you, but somewhere in your lifetime, you have met another woman that has had that experience. And I know men go through that as well, but right now we're talking about women. The minute she throws that out, everybody instantly turns on Uber, except for Jenna. I mean, not Jenna, except for Jessel. We're gonna put Jessel over here to the side. We're gonna put Jessel over here to the side. Everybody immediately turns on Uber. And especially old girl, the Puerto Rican girl. I don't know her name, and I ain't trying to be disrespectful or racist. Put her name in the chat. Y'all know I ain't watched this season. I forgot her name. But y'all know who I'm talking about. The art curator. She was the main one. She was ready to like burn Uber at the stake. You know what I'm saying? And here's my Raquel. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, boo. Here's my first problem. My first problem is, y'all know that Bryn is. Let me say this. I don't question Bryn's experience. And I'm glad that the women separated that. I'm glad that the women separated her experience from her telling the truth about Uber knowing. Because that is two different things. Do I think Bryn has had an experience? I do. And I'm going to put that to the side. So let me say that. I 100% believe that Bryn has been assaulted. I do. Until I have a reason not to believe it, I do. Do I think she weaponized it? I do. So everybody, because again, the minute you have women and they immediately empathize with Bryn and believed Bryn. But I had a problem with them believing Bryn, knowing Bryn as be lying, knowing she exaggerates, knowing that she, be putting 20 on 10. So I have a problem with the fact that not one of them, except for Jessel, like I said, we got Jessel over here to the left. When I say none of them, just automatically know that Jessel is the caveat. I'm already putting Jessel over there, okay? I'm already putting Jessel over there. So don't nobody say in the chat what Jessel did. I'm putting her to the side. I had a problem with the fact that nobody went to Uber and said, am I buffering, y'all? Hold on. Let me see if I can close some windows or something. Hold on. Chuck, is that any better? Let me know. I closed a bunch of stuff. If it's not any better, I might have to go out and come back in. Okay. It was buffering earlier, but it's better now. Yeah, y'all know this computer, child. Y'all know it's StreamYard and this computer, child. Between StreamYard and this computer, child. So that was my problem. My problem wasn't that they believed Bryn. My problem was that they believed Bryn without talking to Uber. So now everybody got an attitude with Uber. Raquel told me something. I can't even look at her right now. It's just so disgusting. I can't even look at her right now. So they end up sitting down to eat again, because I guess this all happened before dinner, child. So they sit down to eat again, and Uber asked if she could talk to Bryn. Now, Uber, I am going to say this about Uber. I do, and listen, two things can be true at the same time. Uber, I really need you to accept people's answers. When you said, let me talk to you, and Bryn said, let me just get my food, and you were like, no, let me talk, just a minute. And like you literally were grabbing her arm and stopping her from getting her food. Girl, I know you were mad. I know there was a lot going on, and I know we don't have the whole story because we just getting the edited version. But I really need you, when people say no, I need you to take no for an answer. When people say, wait a minute, I need you to respect the wait a minute, because temperatures are high. People are on 20. The girl was trying to eat. Maybe she was trying to sober up. Maybe she was trying to take a minute to calm down. But I still need... Is it still doing that? All right, hold on. Hold on, y'all. Let me go out and come back in real quick. Let me go out and come back in. Okay, I hope that's better, y'all. So, oh, it looks like it's better already. Okay, so Sai and Aaron had gone to talk to Uber. So Uber was going to talk to Bryn. So as they go outside, and Uber is like, "Listen, let me just apologize. Let me apologize. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant, to say something to bother you. Like I'm sorry." And here come Bryn ass. What are you sorry for? Uber was like, "Girl, whatever I said that got you mad. Like whatever I said that riled you up, I'm sorry." Now, normally I don't like apologies that are not specific. I normally don't like apologies that are not specific. But in this case, I understand why Uber did it, because in Uber's mind, she don't even know why she apologizing, but she is sorry for hurting Bryn, and she just want to move the fuck on. Like she just wants this to all just be done. So she was apologizing based off of, they said that they told me I went too far, so I'm apologize. Now, mind you, Bryn had already told the lie. Okay? Bryn had already told the lie. So she, of course, because she had told the lie and everybody was bum, she was waiting for this big, huge apology from Uber, because I'm sure she thought that the rest of the ladies had talked to Uber, but nobody had said anything to Uber at this point. So I agree. If I had had a conversation with a friend of mine who had confided in me about their trauma, I'm trying to be careful with my words, y'all, who had been, who had told me about their trauma, I do think this is when I would have remembered. I do think this is when I would have said, "Bryn, I am so sorry. I was upset. I was angry. And I didn't understand how those words could trigger you." But the fact that Uber still was like, "Girl, I don't know, but I'm sorry. I want us to move on. We've been arguing all damn day. I'm sorry." I don't think Uber went too far with Bryn either, but I'm saying, basically they was trying to just, I think they just wanted it to be over too. But again, I'm not giving none of them any passes, except for Jessel, because I really feel some kind of way about how this whole thing went down. So they end up finally going to bed. Like this, they end up going to bed because Uber's like, "I'm not apologizing." Because Bryn was like, "Apologize for saying that I slept with somebody to get my job." And Uber was like, "I'm not going to say that because that's not what I said. I never said that you slept with somebody to get your job. I never said that. So I'm not going to apologize for something I did not say." So Uber was like, "I'm never apologizing for that shit because I ain't say it. You want me to apologize for something I did not say. So no, I'm not apologizing because I ain't say it." So now everybody's mad at Uber. Everybody thinks Uber is this horrible person, except for Jessel. So now we go to bed. The cameras go down. The mics are off. And Jessel, VIP Jessel, VIP Jessel goes to Uber and says, "Hey, girl, Bryn said that she was so upset because she had confided in you that she was a victim of assault of the sexual nature. And you used that against her and it triggered her. And that is why she was so upset. And that is why basically the rest of the house was feeling some kind of way. Now we didn't hear the conversation. All we hear is Uba screaming like something had died, right? And Uba is like, she's calling Bryn, you bitch, you bitch, you bitch. She was like, I would never do that. I did not do that. I did not know. She never told me. So now Uba is running through the house telling everybody, I didn't know. She didn't tell me. This is a lie. She is lying. She's a liar. I never knew. So now you have everybody responding. And even Uba was like, I need Bryn to tell me when she told me. Because I need to know when it happened. Where were we? What day was it? What were we talking about? Why did she tell? Like, I need her to say that. Now, let me say that. Let me say something. As somebody, like I just told you guys, most of us, not just women and men, but for the purpose of this conversation, I'm going to say women. Most of us, like I said, have either been a victim ourselves or we have friends who have been victims. And let me explain something to you. As a woman who has had friends share their story with me, I will never forget. I will never forget what you told me, when you told me, why you told me. I might remember where we were when you said it. I might remember what we had on when you told me. I'm not going to forget something on that level. I absolutely am not going to forget. So even if you said it without going into the details, even if you had said, hey, I'm in therapy right now because, 3 years ago, I was sexually assaulted, I would still remember that. So now the rest of the ladies, now all of a sudden, now they feeling all guilty and ish. Mainly Raquel crying and ish. But I'm going to tell you something. I think Raquel's response is to her own trauma. I'd be willing to bet that Raquel was assaulted. And I'm not defending her, but her response was so extreme that I think she was assaulted. And again, I'm not giving her a pass because I still think it was effed up that she would just blindly believe Bryn. So Uba got physically up, they said she was throwing up. Like she had a physical response to this. Now Bryn says to the ladies, well, I called her before BravoCon and I did tell her, but maybe she didn't clock it. First of all, damn, Phil. Now, Phil, we was doing good. We were agreeing. We was on the same page. Phil, we were doing so good. I'm about to drop the link. Y'all know I can't be here long because we got to do the Real Housewives of Potomac. But I'm going to drop the link in a minute. I just want to get my commentary out. But now she talking about, well, I told her, but maybe she didn't clock it. I'm sorry. Something like that is not something you hope or think that somebody clocks. Let me explain something. And then I'm not even going to address a black woman can't be successful. I'm not going to address that. I know some people have made a big deal about Bryn calling herself a black woman. Listen, I am not going to tell another biracial person what and how and when they identify. I'm not. She's biracial. We know she's biracial. We know she's had experiences being raised by her white grandmother who didn't know what to do with her hair, taking her to the black beauty. Wait, I don't know what the fuck to believe with Bryn anymore, if I'm being honest. But I'm not going to go down that road. I'm just going to stick to the sexual assault part of it. If other people want to discuss it, they can, and that's fine. I have my feelings, but I'm just not going to speak on that. But what I am going to say is there is absolutely nowhere in the world that a friend, and who would use that language? Oh, she might not have clocked it. Who? What do you mean she might not have clocked it? You don't clock something like that. You don't clock something like that. That is something that you are very plain with if you're telling a friend. It's a very plain conversation. So the next morning, Bryn wakes up like ain't shit happened. She's chilling with production. Like, do. Y'all hear that? Somebody screaming. See, Tiffany said, I have an issue with it because she's used it as a weapon. Any other time she wouldn't say as a Black woman. Yeah. So then Bryn ends up leaving. They end up cutting the trip short. And now the ladies are like, now all of a sudden they remember all the times that Bryn lied. Now they trying to go back and remember all the things Bryn manipulated and lied about, which makes me be like, but she been doing that all season. Even going back to last season. And again, that's part of the reason why I stopped watching it, because I was so sick of Bryn playing this game. I was just sick of it. I didn't find it entertaining. I didn't find it fun. I didn't find it cute. I'm not entertained by Bryn. You know, it's something about Bryn that just does not reign true to me. It always did. She did. Now, Mia, I will say that she absolutely behaved like a Karen, and she absolutely weaponized. Let me say this. She absolutely weaponized her white tears, and I'm going to say that, her white tears against Uber. She absolutely did. Because the minute she realized she was losing, all of a sudden now she turns on the waterworks, and now all of a sudden she shared this horrible trauma with Uber, and how dare Uber throw it back at her. See what I'm saying? And had it not been for Jessel, this whole situation would have went left. Had it not been for Jessel. And I'm pissed off at Jenna on watch Bryn like somebody like that's why. Okay, just simply that is why. And I can say it now, but at the beginning of this live I couldn't say it. And that's why I have a giant fuck you to Jenna Lyons. Because for Jenna to come on Watch What Happens Live, which means this is after the reunion is filmed, this is after this episode, this is after whatever else happened, for you to still come out here and Watch What Happens Live and defend that bullshit, I got a problem with it. And then she's talking about, well, you know, as a kid that lied when I was a child, I understand that. No, kids lie. But Bryn is a grown-ass adult who clearly has lied her way through life. And like I said, now it makes me question everything she done said on this show. Did your grandmother really take you to the black salon every Saturday morning to get your hair done? Now, I'm going to say this. Now that I'm thinking on it, you said your grandmama was poor. She had money in her budget to take you to the salon every Saturday morning to get your hair done. Every Saturday morning? I know that shit wasn't cheap. Every Saturday morning? I need to talk to the lady down to the salon. I want to hear what she got to say. Hey, Phil.
What's up, Really BTV? We were almost there. We can never make it. We can just never get to 100%.
We were almost there, Phil. We were almost there. We almost agreed on everything.
And you know, when me and Really BTV agree, you know it's got to be some mess.
Okay. But tell me what
Really,
you got to say, boo. Break it down for
I
us. Break it down for us, Phil.
I don't trust Raquel just because she's another minority. She is not meant to be trusted. She does not like Uber. And I'm not gonna act like Uber hasn't been problematic because Uber is problematic. Uber gets Uber needs to, like you said, she needs to watch her boundaries. Cause Uber do stuff I don't like. Cause even when she was upset with Aaron, where she had the right to be upset, you don't like snatch her glasses off her face. You don't splash
Exactly. I
water at
agree.
her like that. Like Uber
I agree.
does Uber needs to bring it down a lot. But my issue with the women in this whole situation is what did SA have to do with the argument they were having? What did it have to do with anything? I was so glad Uber made them stick to the facts of what I said, not of what she's claiming I said. No, she's mentioned putting a D in her mouth. I told you, if you go to my Twitter, if you've read any of my comments about Roni, this over sexualized behavior of Bryn has been problematic from the start. You're not Samantha Jones. You're not Sonia Morgan. Cut the BS. And for Miss Raquel, she does not like Uber. Even when Brand agreed to take the smaller room and Uber didn't want to take the smaller room because of her size, Raquel was the first one. Well, I've seen the size of her apartment. She should be used to small spaces. Nah, son. You gotta peep the little shady comments. And I know Raquel was upset with Uber about her comments on the beach and stuff like that. But I find Raquel to be performative. You're a woman of great means. Why haven't you been back to Puerto Rico since you were 12? It's not like it's a financial issue. But now, once you get on this show, you want to go back to Puerto Rico and see your mother. Nah, stunt queen, get out of here.
Well, no, See, now, Phil, this is where we're going to talk. I agree with you about the Uber thing, but here's where we're going to split. You know, this is a reality show. You know that they give their storyline. You know that they talk about what it is that they're willing to share. She told us about her mom and her relationship with her mom. You know, they go on 2 trips. I don't think that's a big deal that she said, hey, we can go to Puerto Rico. Well, is your mom willing to film? Are you and your mom going to talk about you guys being estranged? Her how she feels about your lifestyle. I don't think that's a stretch. I think that's reasonable, knowing that this is a reality show and they literally did. I mean, that's like on Salt Wives last year when Monica went back to where the hell they went, Barbados. I mean, it's the same thought process.
And I was right last year and told y'all Monica was a fraud the whole time, and everybody wouldn't believe me until she came out to be a fraud. You better
Oh, I
really
never did.
be.
Well, I wasn't worried about that. But my point. See, now you're switching it. My point is that that's what they do on these shows. Now, why
And
she
you,
hasn't gone back to Puerto Rico, that I don't know. But her going back on the show, I don't think that's. Yeah, I don't think that's a big deal.
I will give Really Be that one. Y'all know I don't give Really Be a lot, but I let Really Be have it. I let her have it. But even like the other women, why didn't y'all? What does SA have to do with this situation with Uber? Nobody mentioned how Brand kept provoking Uber into these fights on this trip when they was on the bus because Uber trying to put on her makeup. Mind your business. You ain't the driver. Shut up. When Uber was at dinner talking to Jessel, she said, I'm over here talking to Jessel. Don't bother me. She kept trying to poke the bear. Bryn wanted that reaction, and she got what she was looking for. And she made the comment, well, maybe I should just put a dick in my mouth. You said it. Don't try to make it seem like she said it and she's trying to insinuate these things. You said that. If Bryn had focused on her Uber saying, like, maybe you slept with someone to get this job, I don't know, she would have had her point. But then, like Uber been saying, you always lying and embellishing things. all of y'all are pigeons carrying messages. Uber was right this whole season, and we couldn't see it because it just kind of sounded like Uber wasn't being like friendly, but Uber was absolutely correct. Yo, Bryn is super whack. That's why Bryn quit the show after the reunion. She knew they
She
cooked her
didn't quit
at
the
the
show. She
reunion.
didn't. She didn't. She didn't quit the show.
I thought I saw her make a post on one of these sites saying she quit the
It wasn't. It
show.
wasn't a real post. It wasn't a real
Oh
post.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh no, we can't come back from this. She in another Phaedra Parks. Oh no, we can't.
Yeah.
We
Now, I
can't
don't
come
know if
back
she's
from
gonna come
this.
back. I don't know if they're gonna bring her back, but she didn't quit.
Yes, Brand is super whack, yo. But that Raquel, you gotta watch her. And I don't know why all of them suck up to Jenna, and Jenna does nothing. She brings nothing to the show because of her name outside the show. Jenna is whack too. Jenna can go. Jenna is boring. Everybody used to complain about Robin. At least Robin did stuff. Jenna does nothing. Jenna is whack. Jenna can go. Size another one who's whack. We can keep Jessel, and we need to incorporate Dorinda, Luann, and Sonia.
Well, I never watched it, so I don't know. But I just feel like, for me, I have a problem with people weaponizing something that serious that so many women go through. And the fact that Bryn's attitude about it was like, it was just another Monday morning. Like, it wasn't a big deal. You know what I mean? Like, I just, that I had a problem with. I had a problem with how she just made it seem like it wasn't a big deal. Like, oh, do. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, I didn't like it.
Well, I think Brand thinks she's a producer, and she thought she was just producing a scene. And when the housewives try to produce, like, some of y'all just take it way too far. And you definitely took it way too far. It was inappropriate. I'm a clinician, y'all, if y'all don't know. And when people try to weaponize their trauma for bad behavior, that's grossly inappropriate. Your trauma is an explanation, it's not a justification. And I just feel like people like Brand, I don't trust any of her story. Like, I want a blood test to see if she has this black father. I trust nothing she says.
I'm gonna be honest. At this point, I don't trust nothing she says either. If I'm being very honest, I don't trust nothing this woman has said because she is such a liar. I mean, she just, and she thinks it's so funny, and that's the part that really bothers me is that she thinks it's cute, and it's not. It's not cute at all.
Yeah, it was wild. And then, even when her and Uber was arguing, why can't a black woman make this money? I will put money on it that people in Brand's circle, people she's had this past relationships with, did not know she was biracial. I will put money that is something she does not share with people at all. And she's probably been in spaces and people have made comments and she sat there looking stupid.
I ain't know until she told the story about her grandmother taking her to the salon, child. I didn't know. Now, other people were like, oh, I could tell. I couldn't. I ain't gonna tell y'all no lies. I couldn't.
Yeah, she just looked like the rest of the white girls with bad weaves on TV.
Child. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But really,
Anyway.
B, I am with you 85%. But that Raquel, she is not meant to be trusted.
I feel
I
like
don't
you with
trust
me
her.
90% because it's just Raquel that we disagree on. So I feel like you with me 90%.
Okay. Oh man, 90%. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I know,
Uh-oh.
right? I know.
Yes, but Raquel, you gotta watch that Raquel and watch Aaron too, because she's whack too. Like, she's another sneaky one. And they
Oh,
always
Aaron
trying to make
irritates me. Yeah, Aaron
and I
irritates my soul.
don't know why no one ever calls out Brand for her behavior. It's like they just focus on not just on Uber. They saw her white tears, because that's what they were, like you said, and just said, oh, Uber's bullying her. Nah. Brand poked the bear and she got what she was looking for. And I'm not a violent person. I don't believe in violence. But when people intentionally provoke people into fights and arguments, like, nah, you doing way too much. But that's all I got, really be. I'm gonna drop back down, but 90%, man, I'm happy.
We doing good. 90% is for us, baby. That's good. That you might as well say that's 100% for us, honey. That's a good day. It's a good day.
And
All
shout
right.
out to the
Right.
Commanders.
90%. Yeah, shout out to
Shout
my
out,
commanders. Like,
shout out to the Commanders. I've been here for a minute now, and they did a great job this season. Big up to the Commanders. They didn't
indeed.
make it, but they did an amazing job. This is a Super Bowl win for the Commanders.
Yeah, they don't have anything to hold their head about. They don't have any. They came within one game of the Super Bowl after only winning 4 games all of last season. They have nothing to be ashamed of. Life is what it is. So yes, thank you so much. Well, y'all, I dropped the link twice. Nobody else clicked it. We getting ready to get off of here so we can go watch the Real Housewives of Potomac, and I'll be back in about an hour. All right, y'all got a full day out of me today. In between watching football, y'all got a full day out of me. So I'm about to watch these Real Housewives of Potomac, and then we're gonna come back and talk about that, child. All right. Mwah. Peace.